The worst thing you can say to somebody is, but they're your mum and dad. You only get one mum, you only get one dad. And I'm going to explain why. Now, I'm not talking about teenagers who have had a strop and be like, oh, I hate my mum, I hate my dad. I'm not on about that. If you cross paths with somebody as an adult and they tell you that they don't speak to their parents, or they don't speak to their mum, or they don't speak to their dad, please know that something fundamentally had to go wrong in their life, or something traumatic had to happen for them to get to that point, and I'm going to explain why. So first of all, I want to point out that there is a lot of toxic family environments out there, all different degrees of abuse, manipulation and everything else. Like, I can't tell you about other people's stories, I can just tell you about my own. So to give you a little bit of understanding, from the age of 6 to 16, my own biological dad decided that it was okay to abuse me. And when I say abuse me, I mean in every way possible. But for a very long time, I thought that was normal. I thought that was just what happens in families. And the reason being is because up until I was 15, I didn't have any siblings that were female. All I had was brothers. I was the only girl in the house. And my dad, I thought it was normal for him to come into my room at night when everyone was asleep and make me do things to him. To me, that was just what girls were for, because that is what he had told me, that is why I was put on this earth. And what made it even worse was my mum knew about it and allowed it to happen. So I grew up for a long time thinking that this was completely normal. It wasn't until I was about 10, 11 when my dad started getting increasingly paranoid, worried that I would say stuff. Now, we moved all the time, and the reason we moved all the time, I believe personally, was so I couldn't form any lasting friendships. Every year I would change school. We would move from one town to the next, and it was just constant. There was never any settled family life at all in any way. So as far as I was concerned, it was okay. But I had the threat of being unalived and the threat of my family being unalived if I ever spoke out about what was happening. So I was silenced. And I tried my hardest to always be a well-behaved child, because the better behaved I was, the less I thought I would receive. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So over the years, I've said to people that I don't speak to my family. And I've heard so many times, but you only get one mum, you only get one dad. Now yes, my mum might not have been the person that was actually doing the physical harm to me, but she was allowing it to happen. And I was 30 when I finally stopped speaking to my mum, and it was after a conversation with her as an adult, when I was trying to process all this and trying to understand why did it happen to me. And my mum told me that she basically allowed him to do whatever he wanted with me, because if she had tried to get involved, she would have got it in the neck, and I would have got it even worse. I couldn't forgive that. I couldn't forgive that. I'd already disowned my dad, I'd already moved away, started a new life, and I just couldn't accept that anymore as a reason. So I chose to walk away from my entire family, which meant all my siblings as well. I had quite a big family, but I decided to walk away from everybody, because it was easier to start again, somewhere fresh, and try and heal myself without the memories and the reminders constantly every day of what had happened to me. So yeah, if you meet an adult and they say to you, I don't speak to my parents, just know there's probably a big reason behind that. We are conditioned from a very young age to love our parents.